I'm here today with an extremely talented and prolific trumpeter, keyboardist, vocalist, and composer who creates a sound you can feel in your soul. Clarence Kyle CTK, welcome.
How you doing, my friend?
Not too bad. How are you doing?
Great. It's a great day in San Diego.
It's phenomenal day to get a chance to actually do an interview with you. We've had a long conversation prior to this, but I mean, you've had quite the experience set in your lifetime. I mean, you were still in high school when you started playing music professionally, didn't you? Tell me a little bit about that. I want to know about those experiences.
Actually, I was in junior high school. And I remember it's funny. I was in junior high school, and in the it was summertime, and my mom said, "You need to find some kind of summer job, some part-time job or something like that, right?" And I said, "Well, I have a trumpet. I'm gonna make some money playing music." And she's like, "Yeah, but you need a real job, right?" So lo and behold, it was a couple weeks after that, this brother called me. A great guitar player named Jeff Dixon, and he had this group called Seventh Wonder Dance and Show Band. Now the name is everything it says. Okay, and he said, "Look, I'm looking for a trumpet player, and we heard about you. Maybe you'd want to try out for it, right?" And the other guys were like 27 on up, right? And I said, "Sure." And then when he showed me the calendar and all the shows he had, and I told my mom, I said, "Hey, I'm gonna be playing this." She's like, "Yeah, right." Then she saw it snowballing, and that whole conversation went out the window. So in between going to junior high school, finishing that, and then going to high school and still doing that, and then getting out of high school and still doing that, and it just snowballed. So that's how I basically got into playing professionally full time. But being from Newport, Rhode Island now, and across the street from where I was raised, basically from, is the venue where they had and hold the Newport Jazz Festival. Now, growing up every summer and listening to that across the street from where I live, and being in a town where there's always greats performing every summer, there's bound to be something coming out of that.
A little bit. Something, maybe a leaning towards a certain style of music. I don't know. I'm not.
Well, when you're 8 years old and you're being taken to a steakhouse, and you walk into the steakhouse and you feel a acoustic bass in your chest, it sounds like boom, 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 boom. And then as you're a little kid being walked down, you got your tie on because it's your birthday and it's your mom's birthday as well, right? And you sit down in front of a table and you hear doom, boom, doom, 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 and all of a sudden you see Dave Brubeck. I didn't know how to feel. I was a little scared. I was a little overwhelmed because the first time I ever had a bass in my chest vibrating. First time I had a steak. Definitely the first time I had a steak. But that is a memory that I will cherish forever. But to grow up around that every year and can't help but hear it. I mean, even on the night I was born, they were in town performing.
Wow.
So that's, that something's going to come out of that.
So when did you actually learn to play the trumpet? When did you pick it up?
Well, when I was in 8th grade, 7th or 8th grade, we had this little neighborhood band, right? And I was trying to be a guitar player, man. I had me a nice little guitar, bought at a thrifty store, that my dad had got me from the thrifty store, little guitar. And we had some of the guys around the neighborhood and stuff, and we would get together. And you know how they always say there's always a faster gun. There's always a gunslinger out there. And this guy was a gunslinger. He could sing and play, right? So we're all standing around in the garage, right? And there was another friend of mine who happened to have this trumpet. And he said, and it was pretty obvious that, hey, I'm not going to be the guitar player. and he took pity on me and said, "Here," he put this in my ear, "Try this." And I don't know if you remember the old song by Mandrill, "Fence Walk."
I need to hear it. The name doesn't ring a bell.
Anyways, it was like, da and it just came natural. And they said, "That's what you should play. That's what you should play." And ever since then, but so now I had to get a trumpet because I didn't have one. I just used the one that was put in my hand.
Yeah.
So I stole one from the music room at the junior high school. Sorry, Montgomery, but they weren't taking care of it anyway. It was all, but inside it looked like the Rocky Mountains. I cleaned it up real good. Yeah, it was pretty bad. So I kind of adopted it. Yeah, I admit I took it, but I gave back. But you go from there and to just practicing in my garage all the time and just getting better and better and playing and doing more gigs with the local band. We're all teenagers, doing more gigs with the local band and also sneaking into the jazz clubs at night. They played with greats like Carl Evans, sitting in with Nathan East, Carl Evans, the original Fatburger, Jimmy Noonan. And they would showcase us. And one night they brought us up to play Little Sunflower, Freddie Hubbard. Now, by this time, I'd already been playing a good 5 years, I'd say, maybe a good 5 years, right? And I used to learn Freddie Hubbard's solo note for note. So they said, well, we like to feature the young kids and let them know that jazz is continuing on and passing on the legacy. They love to showcase us. They loved it. We would sneak in, play 3 songs, and run out, right? So one night he brings us up, and we're playing Little Sunflower, and the club is dark, and it's packed. This is like a club where they call it the Black Frog because most of them were Black Navy chiefs or in the Navy. And this is where they went to just chill out, relax, have their drinks and stuff.
Right.
So imagine this. I go to the stage. We're playing Little Sunflower. I pull off a solo. Nice. No, just like Freddie Hubbard. Note for note. Sunflower solo. And I'm walking off the stage. And I hear, "Hey, boy." And I turned around. It was my dad, right? And I'm like, whoa. And I'm going to the bar to get a rum and Coke. Okay? I think I was like 17. Yeah. Yeah, 16, 17, get a rum and Coke, right? And I was going to tell him I'm just going to go get a Coke. But anyway, he says, "Hey, boy, would you learn to play like that?" And I said, "From your jazz records, Dad." Right? So I can imagine what he must have been thinking when he saw his son walk up there on stage and he's sitting at the table with his friends, and other chiefs, and he probably said, "That's my boy." I can imagine what he must have felt and said. But he always encouraged me, and he would always give me, as I was growing up, music instruments for Christmas, like a plastic guitar that had a suction cup microphone you put to the guitar, or Radio Shack tape recorders, or I used to pretend I was a radio DJ, or play Mission Impossible, little things like that, I guess ended up part of my development of the person you see today and the perfectionist that I tend to be sometimes. But that's how I kind of got into it. So you take that along with being groomed with guys that are older than me.
Yeah.
And in the dance and show band environment, where we changed costumes 3 times in one night. We changed uniforms. I would walk around with a wad like this in school, just buying lunch for everybody and getting everybody in. There would be a line around the building in the rain for people to come in and see us. It was just a great, great time. Guys in the band, we were making so much money as teenagers. We were buying cars, renting apartments. It was a good, crazy time. I'm telling you, the 70s were a lot of fun. A lot of fun. But just going up in that environment and staying focused and I basically taught myself trumpet. I did teach myself trumpet from then on. And I looked to people as idols and people to listen to, like Maynard Ferguson, Freddie Hubbard, Michael Ramley Davis from Earth, Wind & Fire, the Phoenix Horns. And I used to listen to him to learn how to do my attacks how to do my range. And it's funny because when I talked to him, I said, you know, you were my teacher when I was younger. And he's like, what? I said, yeah. It was funny because when I finally did meet him, I was talking to Alma K. We were backstage and he was doing a concert in the park. And we're backstage talking and we're facing each other talking. And he's looking behind me like this, like somebody's behind me. He's smiling while we're talking. And he keeps looking up over my head. And I turn around and it's Ramley Michael Davis.
Oh.
Right. And I'm like, oh, my goodness. And we've been friends since then and talk. But that's how I basically learned. And then I learned how to read on my own. And just like play piano on my own. And I figured if I can learn one instrument on my own, I can learn another, you know. First instrument was violin in junior high school in 7th grade. Yeah. In 7th grade, played the minuet. That was the tune, the minuet. Mm-hmm. Right. And my dad saw an interest in me back then. So he would always get me an instrument for Christmas, you know.
You've been a session player since high school, junior high school. You've been a session player with other bands.
That's correct.
Name some of the people that you worked with prior to going out on your own, because I'm not sure the dates of your first album, Monster, but it was not like back when you were in high school or just after high school. You did Monster years later. That's when you solo, you became, you know, you started doing the work on your own, and then you created your second album, which is The Second Coming, which is an entirely different style of music. The first one, I think there's a quote that says something that's like an amusement park ride, which kind of lends to the styles that you were experimenting with in Monster. And then the second one is, there's a quote, gumbo for the soul. And given the style of your music, I can understand that there's a rich combination of elements within the music in Second Coming that makes you feel warm and makes you feel at home, which is sort of like what gumbo would do, right? And a gumbo for the soul brings your soul at home, makes you feel part of the music, makes you feel the music inside, as opposed to just sort of enjoying it and going along with it.
Well, I didn't want to start out. I wasn't trying to start out as a jazz player per se, just a player who liked everything, you know.
Right.
I wasn't trying to limit. As a matter of fact, when I was young, I didn't even like jazz. When someone said, "Let's play some jazz," I'm like, jazz.
But you grew up with it across the street. How could you not like it? Or maybe it's because it was across the street.
Because I couldn't play. And that's an honest answer. Being that young and stuff, because I couldn't play it. I was learning how to solo in front of people. You know how they say trial by fire?
Yeah.
I got burned a lot of times, buddy. I caught on fire and flamed a lot of times, you know. Learning how to solo in front of an audience. When to stop, when not to stop. When to keep going, when to back off. You know, all that was learned. It didn't just come. Just like everything else in my learning of the trumpet, I had to learn, you know, and experience, you know, to where it got to a point to where as the years went on to progress and my playing became even better, I could just pull up to the venue, put my mouthpiece in my trumpet, walk through the backstage door. It's in one move, right up to the stage, do my part that I'm sitting with somebody and walk right off. That took years to develop, you know, as far as the confidence to do that and the skill set to do that, you know. But that's how I kind of lived my life like that, being on the edge all the time. Come on, I was 17 years old with a new baby in my own car, my own apartment. And all I had to do was play full time, 6-7 nights a week. Sometimes we had to lie to say we were 6, we wouldn't have to do it that night. Or we could go to the prom. But when you're like that, when you grow up like that, you tend to think that every musician that you meet, that's your age or whatever like that, is like that too.
But you were hanging around with musicians way older than you. I mean, how old were you when you worked with Ike Turner? How old were you then?
I was a little bit older then, by that time.
How much older? What were you? Because you weren't Ike's age, put it that way. You were not as old as Ike.
No. Ike didn't come until I was like in my early 40s.
Really?
Yeah, that didn't come till like much later.
Oh, I thought that happened when you were in your 20s, 30s.
Oh no, that didn't
Oh.
come till much later. That didn't come till much later, and the only reason why that happened because he was in prison. But but I don't know why. I don't know why. Things just happen when they happen. You
Yeah.
know, a God's got a plan for you, and he lets you in on things when he's ready to. So, but however, I do consider myself extremely lucky that I was able to meet these celebrities as I was growing up. I think the first ones I met when I was 16, 17 was like Al Jarreau, but one-on-one conversations with these people in person. You know, it was just it's all been a big happenstance type of thing. Really, like I'm waiting for Al Jarreau to come hit the theater here in San Diego. I'm waiting for some friends to join me because they got the tickets, and I'm standing out in front of the lobby by myself, waiting for them guys. And here comes Al Jarreau, and he was late. You know, in his limo, I said, "Whoa!" And he said, "Do you have any tickets?" I said, "Yes, I do. Thank you." That was my first thing, and then it would be other random people I would meet. I don't know why I would be in that position. I was in a position to meet Gene Kelly one night. We were in the elevator. We were just talking for like 15, 20 minutes. I'm surprised he had the time. And we talked about French Connection. And my favorite movie that he did was Young Frankenstein.
Oh,
And
yes.
we were cracking up because remember, he played the blind man. He was
Yes.
giving the monster soup. And he kept pouring it in the monster's lap. We were laughing. We were cracking up about that. Right. One on time with one of the Jacksons, a couple of the Jacksons before. One time I was doing a gig in Hollywood. I was backing up a rap group, and I'm sitting back there in the back where the dressing rooms are. And famous rapper E40 goes walking by with his entourage and stuff, right? And there's like maybe 12 guys surrounding him. He's walking past me, and I'm just leaning up against the wall. I said, "Hey, 40." And to my surprise, he just stopped, and it was like a train wreck. Everybody stopped behind me, stopped, and he said, "Hi," and we talked. And that shocked me. A lot of moments happen like that to celebrities that I never thought I would meet.
Did you meet musical celebrities who actually gave you advice or gave you commentary on, like, they've heard you?
Yeah, Burt Bacharach, he was in San Diego one time, opening at the Intercontinental Hotel. He was doing performance there. And I was working there, by the way. So you're not supposed to talk to the guests like that. But I was working there. I said, "Yeah, I play trumpet, blah, blah." And he stopped. And he said, "Why don't you come to rehearsal? Blah, 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 blah." I never went, though. I don't know. I never went. There was that time. And then, of course, Kevin Toney from the Blackbirds. And it's funny. It's funny. He was doing the play, the way I met him. He was doing the play, and my cousin was playing bass in the play. And my cousin said, "Come to the play, come to the play." You know, they were doing a misbehaving, right? And I said, sure. So I was going to surprise him, my wife, when I surprised him with tickets, because he kept saying, "When you guys come?" And I said, "Oh, we'll make it eventually," but we already had our tickets. Right. So, and we had front row at the table, lighting at the table at the theater. Right. And then there's a man sitting at the piano on the side of the stage, dressed up like Fats Waller. Yeah, because that was supposed to be his character. Right. Had the Boulder Derby hat on, you know, the bands on the sleeves, you know, spin upright piano, that type of thing. And he was directing everything like this, very, very clean. Right, and the stage would move forward. It was just a great play, right? And then during the intermission, when he came back to stage, he came in front of my wife and I's table, and he went like this with his hat, right? And then he went back to his spot, right? Oh, and they said, "Oh, my cousin must have told him we were out there to see him," right? So after the play, my cousin goes, she says, "Actually, it's Coop." "Yeah, it's Coop. I know. I'm messing with you, Coop." Okay. He says, "Hey, look, man. Why don't you join us for drinks? You know, some of the crew, we're going down to the bar afterwards and have drinks," right? He says, "Kevin's coming, blah, 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 blah," because his name is Kevin as well, right? So I didn't think nothing about it. I said, "Yeah, sure, great," right? So the wife drove the car home. He said, "I'll take you home afterwards." I said, "Fine." We get to the restaurant bar, and Kevin Tony is at the table. My cousin's at the table. Tommy Alforky, another great trumpet player, and myself, and we're all talking. And he says to Kevin, he says, CTK's got an album, blah, 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 blah. This, that, blah, blah. And he says, "Oh, that's great. That's great." He said, "Man, I can hear." And I said, yeah. And I pulled some up on his phone, and he's listening to the ear, going like this. He says, nice production. This music should be heard, right? And then my cousin said, yeah, man, Kevin, man, he's all over the charts. He's like, I said, yeah, what, who? He says, Kevin Tony. I said, that's Kevin Tony? And Kevin just went, right?
You've been sitting talking to him all evening, and you didn't really realize who you're talking to.
I didn't realize who I was talking. I was just telling him how I enjoyed his playing without even knowing who he was. I just told him how I really enjoyed everything. He was just smiling and smiling. And when I realized it was actually Kevin Tony, we became fast friends there. That's when he put me in the headlock and started doing his and told me, okay, you're going to do this, you're going to do this, and you're going to do that. Right? So to answer your question about people giving me advice, even before that, Al McCabe from Earth, Wind & Fire. And way before I started recording The Second Coming, we just talked all the time. We would just laugh. And while he was touring Europe, we would be, FaceTiming each other or just talking about sometimes mostly wine, cheese, stuff like that. Very little about music. It wasn't too much. It was just jokes. We just kept each other laughing and stuff, right? And then when I told him I was doing an album, and then I sent them the proofs that came from the mastering, and he's taught me something right then that first minute. He said, okay, which one are you going to release first? And I'm like, it's an album. He says, which one are you going to release first? And that's when it hit me like, oh. And that's when he gave me the advice of, hey, don't drop a whole album because you're in competition with yourself.
Mm.
That's when I started learning, that type of thing. He encouraged me a lot. I mean, he really encouraged me a lot, And him, of course, Ike Turner. When Ike Turner, that guy never could read or write music. But the way we would learn music from him, here's how incredible he was. The horn section would just pull a circle around him. And the whole band. And he would just give out notes. You're going to play this. You're going to play this. You're going to play this note. You're going to play this note. You're going to play that note. And it would be perfect harmonies. Like, God, how does he do that? It was just, I would never seen anything like that.
Got it all
never in my life. And that was like, talk about being juiced in with your music. That was like AI right in your face. It was just like crazy, and that's how he would do it. Let's see, the harmonies would be perfect in the textures. I said, wow, but I took all that as a learning thing. So everybody I ran into did that. While we were playing South by Southwest, had a chance to play with Los Lobos.
Oh, get out.
Which was cool. And Blues Traveler. I never would have had another chance with that. These were people that I knew, Pine Top Perkins will come to the dress. This guy was tall. I know. I found out why they call him Pine Top. This is the guy that taught him how to play piano. People like that. Walking in. Can you imagine walking into somebody's house and Rick James is sitting on the couch? This is the crazy type of things that my life has been surrounded and caught up in and stuff, And sometimes, people would say, how does this happen? And I say, I don't know. So there's a force. There's a force that's bigger than me, you, and everybody else that drives us to where we're going, depending upon which path that we take. Well, so to answer your question, where did I get encouragement from? And I still get encouragement, from people you wouldn't think. Meeting your idols, they say you should never meet your idols because you might be disappointed. I haven't ran into that yet. I'll tell you, one time I was at the NAMM show one time, and I was just walking around, and there was a Ronin exhibit. But it was a little dark stage and it was a little red light in there. So I just walked in there by myself and I was walking around and I walked smack into Terrence Blanchard. I was like, whoa. And I backed up like it was a cobra. I was like, whoa. It was a trumpet cobra to me. I said, whoa. I said, Terrence Blanchard, right? And I said, you know what? I said, I got to tell you, I loved the music you did in the movie Life with Eddie Murphy. Right, the movie Life, because he was doing all the music background when the convicts were playing softball and all the trumpet. He said, "Oh, you caught that?" I said, "Yeah, I caught that lick." Right, and then what shocked me was that when he said, "Yeah, well, I've seen you before on Facebook." Okay. Okay. But those moments like that, I'll treasure, and I still get, like I said, I still get advice from some of the other people. And the main thing that they tell me is, yeah, people are going to tell you this, they're going to tell you that. So whether it's good, whether it's bad, take it all with a grain of salt. Just keep moving.
Yep.
Just keep moving. He says, just do you and be you, and the music will be taken care of itself. You never know who's watching.
Yeah. Yeah.
You never know. Great bassist, Stan Wooten. Okay. I seen him go across Facebook a couple of times, and I just threw a hi out there, and he responded real quick. Hi. I was like, whoa. I told him I didn't expect that.
So I'm going to ask the general kinds of questions now, if you don't mind. If you could walk me through, I know that your first album, Monster, it was, I believe we talked about it in previously, and you said that was sort of an experimentation. You were trying different things. You're throwing it together to say, hey, I'm not just a fixed genre of music. I want to try things. I want to do stuff. But the second album, the Second Coming, you've kind of got yourself in a place, and there is variation in the music, but it sounds like you've got your roots under you. Take me through some of your creative process that gets you there. That's what I'd like to know, is where your head's at when you're putting music together.
Well, since we're being totally honest, Monster was, like I said, it was a great learning experience for me. Okay. Oh. And to be honest with you, I just wanted to have something out there just to see if I could throw something out there. And I wasn't really concerned about what it really sounded like. I just wanted to be able to say, hey, I was something, I put thought into maybe one and then threw everything else together, not really going about it as I should have.
Right.
But I took that as a huge learning experience, and I said, you know what? I'm not going to make those mistakes on the Second Coming. On the Second Coming, I'm going to do more serious, because don't you just hate buying an album and there's like maybe one or two songs on it, and the rest of it,
yeah.
I didn't want that to happen with the Second Coming. So I wanted to make sure each one was hidden. So I took great care in each one. As far as the song process goes, I'd just be sitting off into space, and the whole song would come to me just in my mind, instrumentation and everything.
Really?
Oh yeah, and I'll just hum it into my phone. Whatever. That just like Summer in Newport, the music was done with that, and I needed a little hook at the end, Summer Day, Summer Night. I jumped up in the middle of the night and turned everything on, and I had it, things like that. Sometimes I'll dream it. When I was a kid in Newport, Rhode Island, Newport is so small, you can walk the whole place. Mm-hmm. I mean, as far as beaches and everything. And I did a lot of walking as a kid, especially when I was 8 years old and growing up, walking around. So, I didn't know it at the time, but I was creating musical videos in my head. Now, this would be like that's when the movie A Hard Day's Night came out with the Beatles.
Yeah.
Right? And if you remember in that movie, there's a scene where Ringo's just walking around, and he's taking pictures and stuff like that. And things like that would shoot in my head. And then I would, as I got older and got into my teens, then I would picture my own music with just like a video thing. I didn't know it was like videos. I was just, that was just how my mind worked, That was just how my mind worked. So that was kind of my learning process. I'll get it down, and I'll stuff it all in my head. And when I'm ready to put it together, just like going into the kitchen and opening up all the cabinets and bringing down your nutmeg, your turmeric, your onion powder, and everything else, your pots and pans, and mixing it together, and then being your worst critic.
Mm.
If I didn't get chill bumps off of it, I didn't think everybody else, So that's what I learned of the Second Coming, and I learned how to take advantage of different things. And Al McKay used to tell me that space is your friend.
Explain.
Space between your music, between your playing. Space is your friend.
Okay.
Now he was gonna say, "Oh, space." But space is your friend. I remember I was having my keyboard player. He's my music director, which is Bernard Battle. Love that guy. Love you, Bernard. Let me tell you a real quick thing about Bernard. How I met him. I was 15 years old, and we were having band practice on the street in this cul-de-sac. And on the top of the cul-de-sac, before you pulled in, there was another band practicing up there who were much more experienced than us. And they were seniors in high school. We were just in junior high school, or some of us just going into high school that were playing together, right? And we were playing Tower Power with his hit, you know. And all of a sudden, the garage door opens up while we're playing, right? And the whole band's standing there like this. Like they came to see who it was, right? And the one who lifted up the garage door was Bernard Bapp. But that's how I met Bernard, right? So getting back to fast forwarding right now, Bernard Ballard, he's my music director. And I'll say, Bernard, I have an idea. Boom, 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 this. And he'll come over, we'll knock it out, we'll do that, right? And he's like, he'll be the first one that chooses. He's an incredible. He used to be a trumpet player at first. He used to play trumpet as well.
Yeah.
I remember I was 16 and I was giving him trumpet lessons at 16. But he's the kind of guy, he's the player's player. And he will tell you, hey, I'm a part player, tell me what to play. Like that. He's like a loaded gun. You know, you put the bullets in and he'll fire it, you know. Yeah. That type of guy. So I had brought him in on this project and stuff. And he's been a great asset. As you see, it'll say like CTK in the black and tan.
Yes.
It's him and I. We're the black and tan. That's what it really comes down to. But as far as my process, far as writing songs, I just come up with the melody and then the background, everything. I'm thinking of everything, right? But space, when you're writing, space is your friend. So that's part of my writing process right there, you know.
So do you prefer writing, or do you prefer session playing, or do you prefer studio playing, or do you prefer live playing?
I prefer it all.
Oh, really? No favorites. No favorites at all.
No favorites.
Really?
No favorites.
So you don't mind, you enjoy sitting and developing the music as much as you do being live on stage with people screaming at you and woo, getting all that energy.
Live is a total different thing, though. That's a different animal.
Well, that was one of the choices. Come on now.
I used to come up with some crazy stuff for the band to do. Actually, I got pretty good at stage direction. As far as when we would do some cameo funk stuff, and me and the horn players would be together, I was looking at it. Okay, look, on three, we're going to walk over to the guitar player and just start doing this, okay, as a group. Then we're going to run back over here. I would do stuff like that, right? Chants and things like that, chanting, just crazy stuff, on stage stuff that looked like it was rehearsed. It wasn't rehearsed, you know. Because of me having a TV type of mind, growing up watching TV shows and variety shows, they used to have them a lot. Yeah. Something like a George Kirby show, stuff like that. All the Dean Martin shows, all these shows they used to have back in the day when I was growing up. Yeah. You know, and so being in growing up in a show and music type environment, you know, I guess I picked up a few things, you know. So as far as the stage show is a lot different than when you see me play. You know, it's a lot different. It's a little more animated and a little more audience involved.
Yeah, you enjoy that. You don't have. So I think we talked about it, but I wouldn't mind rehashing that you don't have nerves when you go up on stage. It's more like you start absorbing the energy that's thrown at you from the audience. When you go do live stuff, it's not about the nerves. You don't get nervous.
Well, I dare you to look at me. I dare you. I got your attention? Good. Because I'm going to do something crazy. No, but anyways, you know, I just made sure that they had fun because I was definitely having fun and still have fun, you know.
Well, I see that in some of the videos that I've watched of you. It's like you're enjoying the moment. You're kind of caught up in it. You're in the music, and even when you're not playing, you've got the music playing in your head. You can kind of see you've got the groove on. You got the funk going as you're strolling along, like the video for Newport. That one, you're walking along, you can see you're dancing.
I tell you what's funny. What's funny when you're shooting that when I'm walking down the dock.
Yeah.
That was like a private country club or something like that. We were supposed to be in there, right? So the idea was and this is how we used to do, like this is where coming in, sneaking up on the stage and jamming 3 songs and running away experience came in handy. We would just go into the country club parking lot. Got my friend, he's got the drone, right? And we'll just start filming right then and there before security can come over and say, "Oh, you're not supposed to be here." And we finished that just in time and said, "Thank you, we're done. I appreciate your time." Bam, we're gone. Okay, so that was what do they call it, pirated or whatever?
Oh, I see. So there were people that you knew that you were pointing at when you're walking along the dock. You pointed at somebody.
There were people out there.
Yeah,
I was just really actually waving to them, and as a matter of fact, and we're filming it. And this guy goes by me on a skateboard, holding stuff, skateboarding to one of the yachts. And I'm just going like that. And there was 2 Chainz. He just skateboarded right past the video, right in the middle of the video. I'm like, okay, see there again, running into this kind of stuff is crazy. But yeah, we weren't even supposed to be there. And it was like, shot real quick, in and out. The one take thing. That's the time you see me, I'm just walking down going like this. Because I'm not supposed to be there for one.
Well, it doesn't look like it. When you look at it at the video, it looks like I'm part of this. I own this. Yeah, this is my territory. Hey, how you doing? How are you doing over there? Yeah, and you're walking along. It doesn't look like you're doing this sneaky kind of, we're going to get in trouble doing this.
Well, you had to make it look somewhat convincing.
Well, it definitely does. You've got the confidence for it. Definitely have the confidence for it.
Thank you.
So your earlier work, you were experimenting, you were trying things out, right? How has that influenced your current work, the stuff that you're working on now? Because I know you've got a new album coming out. You have your new single coming out. We can talk about that after you tell me how the earlier work that you did influences. So do you have influences, or do you just look at your earlier work and go, that was that, this is now?
I have influences from the past, the present, and I do have future influences. If you want to say future influences. The thing about it is that you say do something different. Sometimes they just want to put you in a box and say, "Well, this is a smooth, international smooth jazz artist," or that type of thing. Where I just rather be international trumpeter, or that's why I put funk jazz artist, because everybody's a jazz funk artist. Well, I just want to separate a little bit to say, hey, I'm using the smooth jazz to get my foot in the door. There's other things here, but I'm just using this to get my foot in the door, If I'm part of the smooth jazz, well, fine. If I'm not, that's fine too, But something that Kevin Tooney told me, and he said, don't let them put you in a box. He said, just make music that you like.
Yeah.
Be it funky or whatever, and just be you. Just, they're going to call it whatever they want because they don't know what to call it. They'll call it funk jazz, smooth jazz, whatever.
They'll throw a label on it. Absolutely. Yeah.
So with that being said, I got something very nice coming out the box very soon. I have some great players involved. The great bass player is Stefan Zaichkowski. He's a great guy. The ever impressive Max Groove. Of course, my music director, which is BB Bernard Battle, in on some of this stuff. And there's even going to be there's going to be new music out this month. There'll be something. I'm looking for something for Christmas and something after. Something in January, which will be featuring a very famous Grammy-winning guitar player. I'm not going to say who.
Really? Yeah,
I'm not going to say who. He knows who he is.
Give initials. Give initials.
No.
And that's in January.
However, I will say this, that what's coming is totally out the box and unexpected, but in a way expected.
Yeah.
So
That's your world premiere piece. That's part of the album, correct?
Correct.
And then the part that's dropping in January,
that's also
is that another single?
Yes, it is from the album. Yes, from the
Okay. So album. You've got one in October. Are you dropping another one in December?
Christmas one.
Oh, the Christmas one. That's right. And then in January, you've got the after Christmas kind of thing with the guitarist that you will not name.
Right.
Will they name him when it drops? Are you going to have the name then? Or will this person remain anonymous and we have to sort of guess and we hear the music and go, oh, I know who that is? You're not going to say. You didn't go mute on me, did you?
No.
Okay, good. So when does the album drop then?
I'm sorry?
When does the album drop?
Well, the thing about it is that I'm going to be, like my friend Al McKay told me, never drop a whole album at once. Just
you get the good ones out, you get the pieces because you don't want to compete.
Get them familiar with it and then hit them with the album.
Yeah. So you're thinking about it,
have them just expect the singles from the album coming out. They'll be doled out a little bit. But when you get the whole album, you'll get the album title and everything.
So you're thinking in the summer, next summer it might drop, or next fall. If you do singles every month, possibly you might get.
No,
there.
It's not even going to be singles every month. You'll just have to wait and see.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Come on.
You're just going to have to wait and see. I gave you too much as it is.
When we hear it, when we start to hear the singles dropping, that's when we'll get a better taste for what's coming. But I don't think we've heard enough here. We've just we've gotten that peek. There's the curtain, and you open the curtain a bit, and then you've shown us a light, and that's it. We can't see what's behind the curtain, and that's, so you haven't really given anything. Haven't given any, but we do have some dates, so we can have some expectation that next month we'll get.
Just look for music coming, Beth.
Yep.
You might wake up one morning and I just might put something right there, and you don't know. You don't know.
This station would love to have the first single drop on the station. We would definitely do a world premiere for you of the music. If you want to do that, it won't be part of this interview. It was going to be part of this interview. I know I'm wobbling.
You keep sticking me with that.
Keep poking you with that one.
I told you I was going to have it. I was going to have it ready for you. Like I said, things came up, and there was a backlog to where I do send my stuff out to be mastered, and they let me know that, hey, we can't do it that quick, blah blah. So I'm working with what I'm working with. So
exactly we're in the same boat together.
And I'll tell you this though, however, the wait is definitely worth it. Definitely worth it because
just the small sampling that you sent to me, I want to hear more.
Oh, you heard that little teaser?
Yeah, that little tiny teaser.
Just for you.
That little tiny blurt on the horn, and it was like, yeah, okay, I want to hear more. I want to hear more.
No, that was just a little. That's supposed to be a little teaser for you. That was supposed to be for you, though.
Well, you let other people hear it because JC Soul has a comment about she heard the little piece. I saw her comment right next to it. So,
actually, that was I was doing finishing touches on something.
So she's commenting on that.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought she was
commenting on. I didn't say what it was from, but in truth, it is finishing touches on something that was done. Something that was done.
I see.
Something that was done. So.
But really, I am looking forward to the new music that's dropping. The Christmas one, I'm really curious about because I want to see what that sounds like because you don't have anything Christmassy. Prior to
that's why I need something Christmas. Though.
There you go. I thought I kind of heard that there wasn't too much from you from Christmas spirit, and so I want to hear something that has that Christmas theme. But I want to hear how you've taken the Christmas theme. I want to hear how you've adjusted it because I mean, the regular Christmas stuff is like, okay, we've heard enough of that, and I want to hear how CTK has taken Christmas and brought it to this level, way up here. This is the new smooth, easy funk jazz Christmas. That's what I want to know.
I don't know about all that. I'm just, I don't know about all that at all. I'm just going to bring it the way I like it.
Good.
I don't really create music with the hopes that I hope people like this or that thing, you know, because if you like it, fine. All I know is when I'm gone, it's still going to be around. So I just want to put it out, period. I have to put it out. I have to do it out. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing to me. You know, I don't need people or anything to qualify me or make me feel qualified, whatever. I love doing what I do because I love sharing music.
Well, it shows. I mean, people do appreciate your music, and your music is phenomenal. I will say that myself.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Here, you enjoy your music, and that's what you've been saying, is that if I like it, that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to put it out there as this is something I really like. And you see that in your performances. You see that in the music. You can feel it in the music, that this isn't just sound. It's expression of a soul. So I really appreciate that from you. What I'm curious about is there any other genre or flavor of music that you haven't yet done that in the back of your head you're going, you know what, really would like to do, Brazilian Spanish jazz or Cuban Spanish jazz, or thrown in a little bit of an ethnic beat that you don't quite have, maybe a little reggae in your jazz. I don't know. Just saying, I will discontinue this line of conversation. But it sounds like there's a surprise coming potentially. I think we could do half the interview with just facial expressions. I mean,
let me give you this one. I learned this one from my father-in-law. I use it on the wife. It doesn't work much though, but I use it a lot. He taught me this one. He had the coolest name, it was Henderson, but we called him Henny, and he would give the look, just give the look. But, yeah, he taught me that. He would give the look, and then my wife would say, "It's not working. It's not working." Keep it up. I know it's working. You know?
The thing is, then she'd give you the look at the same one, and you go, "Whoa, that's working."
Nah. You know, it's true what they say. Behind every great man, there's a woman, and she's the one. I'll tell you. She keeps me grounded, and she keeps me alive.
Well, that's good. That's good. Hopefully she keeps you sane, because although it would be interesting to hear a crazy version of your music, you have much control. As much as it sounds very, very organic, the music that you produce, it would be interesting to see you with a lack of control. Like I say, I see you as somebody who is extremely approachable. That's probably why people come up to you. You say hi and they'll say hi back. You have this aura about you that's very personable, very engaging. And when you play your music, you push that out further because the sound of your music reaches farther out. It would be interesting to see an altered version of this. It would be interesting to see CTK with Just Let Go.
It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. You were talking about, you mentioned about aura.
Yes.
And, attraction.
Yes.
And things like that. And I sense there's been some kind of weirdness going on. Things that have happened just while we and my wife were together, just out in public. And there was one time we were shopping at Costco, and we just hitting the big aisles, you know, pushing the baskets. And towards us comes this one couple. I think boyfriend and girlfriend, I don't know. But they were just walking, and then we get within 5 feet of each other. And she stops, and she starts singing out loud in front of me. And my wife looked at me, and I looked at my wife, and she let out a whole verse. And I said, nice. And then we kept walking. But there's been a lot of weird things or attractions or things like that have happened and do happen. It's just weird. Or we'll be standing in line for something, and then you'll see this woman. She'll be like maybe in her late 70s, and turns out to be the funniest comedian you ever heard in your life. She's doing her whole show right in front of us. Just like, it was just weird things that happen. Just weird things, but it's part of our life and things that happen. I love it all. I really do. It's so drawing from experiences from everything. You're talking about some crazy stuff. Let go, let loose. Oh yeah. Especially if you see a live show. Oh, crazy stuff. But yes, I do get influences from everything, and use everything I get. But I look forward to bringing new music very soon.
Can't wait to hear your new music, and it's coming soon. So I'm looking forward to absolutely. My last question to you, though, my very last question, and I've asked this of a number of people. I don't know if you know the movie Citizen Kane with Orson Welles, and how when he's small, you know, that when he was a little kid, he had a sleigh, and that sleigh and the relationship with having, you know, being a child then affected his growth throughout his entire life. It made him the man that he was, and he always had that regret of not having his little rosebud. I ask, do you have one of those? Do you have a rosebud, a thing in your life, a thing, a person, an event, or persons, it could be plural, that changed who you were and made you who you are, but that you think about and you think, you know, if I had been slightly different, I wonder if my life would have been different. Is there anything like that in your life?
I'm sure there probably is. I'm sure there probably is. But if I had any last words before I dropped the snowball, it would probably be a question. It would probably be, but was it funky? I mean, you know, hopefully, you know, my loved ones are around. Is there anything you want to say? Anything? What was the best thing? Was anything you want to say or ask? That would be it. Was it funky? We all have one.
We're gonna get in now to your music. We're gonna take this thing on a new ride. We're gonna let people hear. It isn't the latest and greatest, but we're definitely going to hear something fabulous from you. The musical stylings of CTK with Looking for You. I want to thank you, CTK. It was an absolute pleasure. Really enjoyed speaking with you today. Phenomenal music. Really look forward to the new singles dropping throughout the year and next year. Looking forward to finally hearing the new album as well. I'll do comparisons of what you've done again and what you've got now, and we can talk again if you want.
But it's been an absolute pleasure talking with you, as it always is. And you and I both know we talk for hours sometimes.
Absolutely.
It goes on like that. But I want to thank Easy Jazz Radio and Easy Jazz TV for the support. And yes, you can visit my website at ctkmusic.com. And I promise you the best is yet to come.
Fantastic. Well, looking forward to it, CTK. And hopefully we'll be talking again soon.
Well, I just have one question about the whole interview, because I know how concerned you are in presenting these indie artists. And I just want to know, was it funky?
Yes, sir. It was definitely funky. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye now.
Bye.